The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, Steve.
Good morning, everyone. Steve Murray here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Here it is, bright and early, 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning Central Time. Might be a little earlier or later where you are. Either way, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your Tuesday morning to join myself and Dave Pimper. Dave is the coach, is the president of Lazarus Coaching. Today we're going to talk about prospecting using in-service withdrawals. So I think you're going to get some great information out of this, and we are going to try and keep it to a little bit of a smaller time frame, just in respect for your time. So we're going to jump right into it here. We're still going to have a couple polls that will come up. We'll get through those very quickly as well. If you have questions, type them in. We'll get them asked and answered as soon as we can as well. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. I wanted to start really quickly as an introduction of myself. My name is Steve Murray. I'm the executive vice president here, kind of run the marketing side of our business and one of the co-owners of the firm. I appreciate every opportunity we have to chat with you, and certainly I appreciate the opportunities we have to help you with some sales ideas and some ways that you can grow your business and earn the opportunity to speak to more clients. One of the things that I want to chat with you about today was a couple of programs that we have. I think many of you may be aware of them. I'm looking at our group in general. It looks like we got a lot of people that regularly do business with us, which is great. For those of you that are not familiar with our referred producer program, it's pretty simple. When you refer someone to us, they do business, we pay you an ongoing referral fee, and we pay that fee for as long as they're doing business with us. So it's a great way to earn extra cash that you can put towards your marketing or anything else you can. We pay those out as checks to you each quarter. Some we pay out on a monthly basis, but most we pay out on a quarterly basis. So watch for those. If you have a referral, just call your sales director and say, hey, this is the name, this phone number. We'll put in the system. We'll put you in as a referee. When we get them appointed, we will begin sending you checks when they do business. In fact, we send you a check just when they get appointed with us, a check for $50 just for them getting appointed with us. So hope you'll take advantage of that. Another thing you should take advantage of is a marketing reimbursement program. We put money into your marketing reimbursement account based on the business that you do, whether you're doing life, annuity, long-term care, MedSup, whatever business you're doing with us, all counts and get you some marketing reimbursement dollars in that account. Then we match your marketing spend dollar for dollar. So you're essentially doubling your marketing dollars when you do business with IAM. So I hope you'll take advantage of that program. I know that we've got a few of you out there that are just joining us, new producers. You can see the various levels at which you can qualify and the various benefits that you can tap into. I've also had guys say, hey, can we do this? And I'm pretty open to that. Anything that you want to take advantage of to help grow your business on the new producer bonus side. And you can see it's a little bit of a lost leader for us here at IAMS. We know that when you get doing business with us, that's the first step towards a lot of good things happening for years and years to come. So we want to make that first step for you as easy as possible and reward it as much as we can as possible. We know that you're going to love our service. We know that you're going to love the things that we do incentive-wise. So we just want to make that easy for you. So take advantage of one of those new producer bonuses. Slides never move when you want them to. I want to make sure, too, that you're aware of our marketing summit that is coming up at the Ritz-Carlton, August 25th through the 29th. That's in beautiful Naples, Florida. Beautiful area. We'd love to have you join us. Qualification is continuing on through the end of June, so there's still plenty of time to qualify. You can see that it takes the published qualification amount is 3 million points. That's point for annuity premium. You get about double points for MedSup. You get about 13 points for every dollar of marketing reimburse, or for every dollar of life target premium. SPL premium counts about 1.5 times. Every piece of business that you do at IAMS counts toward qualifying you for our marketing summit. We'll have a great time down there. Ritz's are always nice. That one sits on the a beautiful beach in Naples, beautiful area. Love to have you join us for the upcoming marketing summit. I should mention as well, we have a couple other little incentives going right now. One is a trip based on your Athene premium, which any premium you do toward Athene obviously counts towards our big trip. But from October to the end of March, we have a separate trip that we are doing in cooperation with Athene for just Athene production. And we're going to take the top 20 producers, and then we're going to add another 5 that we're going to based on kind of a luck factor. We're going to put a little drawing out for the last 5 based on premium that you do. Every 50,000 of premium placed between now and the end of the year gets you 2 chances. Every 50,000 of premium between now and the end of March gets you an additional chance, and then we're going to pull 5, probably 4 or 5 winners out of the hat at the end of March. So we'd love to have you join us for that. So let's get now to the heat, or the heart of the matter with Dave. We're going to talk about non-hardship withdrawals from 401k or qualified plans in general, and how you can prospect within that market to grow your business. And so Dave is going to give us a little background on how they work, how to go about it, and then how he's used them to grow his business. Should be very useful, educational. And Dave, with that, I am going to turn the keyboard over to you, turn the presentation over to you, and you can go at it.
Okay, thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. We've got a lot to go over today in a short period of time. But I will say this, if you're not prospecting in service, non-hardship, withdrawal distributions or plans, you should be. You really should be. And this is part of kind of an IAM's educational series of ways to get in front of more people. And that's what the majority of us, including myself, want to do. So if you have any questions whatsoever, certainly type them on in, and we will bring those on up if you know, to have the answer for you, but feel comfortable about typing those on in, and we got a lot of folks with us. Wow. So this is great. A lot of people want to know about in-service withdrawals. Now, what you're going to hear, there are hardship withdrawals, and this is not what we're talking about, that like a disability and et cetera. We're talking about you can take your money out, he's still working for the company at age 59 or over without any kind of penalty whatsoever. So when you look at the kind of the formal definition, a withdrawal made from a qualified plan. So that could be, normally it will be a 401k, but it could be a 403b nonprofit. It could be a 457 deferred compensation plan from the government. And if you withdraw that in that qualified employer plan before the holder, meaning the owner of retirement monies, experiences a triggering event. Now, what's a triggering event? So it's leaving. You know, you're not being fired. You're not leaving because of retirement. You're not leaving because you decided to go to work for another company. There's no triggering event. And so it says the in-service withdrawal distribution option allows certain plan participants to receive some or all of their retirement assets while they are still employed, usually at age 59 or older. And I am going to say it could be older than 59 and a half, but almost all the plans now have the age of 59 and a half, which of course is when you can take out without a 10% withdrawal. Now, the two options that the holder of that monies, of say that 401k money, has is they could take it out and have it mailed directly to them. If they did that, there actually is 20% that's withheld by the federal government, and they get the balance, and the balance is taxed. What we're talking about is where you transfer that to usually an individual retirement account. It could be a Roth IRA, but from an individual retirement account. So what's pretty cool about this, most of the times when you talk to people or prospects, and this happens all the time from seminars. I mean, I just got done doing 3 nights of seminar marketing, and we got between those 3 nights, we actually got 20 appointments. And so on those 20 appointments, I've already found 2 people that I wouldn't have been able to work with because almost all their money's in the retirement plan, but both of those have this specific privilege. Now, here's what happens is, years ago, only the bigger companies had in-service non-hardship withdrawal provisions. But now, over 70% of the 401k, 403b, 457 plans have this available. So it's much more of an available option than it ever was before. So let's go in and take a look here. Here's, I talk about the 5 thoughts, 5 different rules when working with in-service. Normally it starts at 59.5. So if the person's before 59.5, just isn't going to happen. I got 3 or 4 people that are 57, 58, and early 59 that once they're 59.5, they're going to go in and do an in-service non-hardship withdrawal plan for me. So that's the kind of the start date. The second thing is it isn't just 401ks, but as we talked about, 403bs and 457s. So what assets are available? Maybe all the assets are available, but sometimes what will happen is the company match may not be. You have to look at the plan documents, may not be available. Sometimes it normally is on just the money that is vested. You know, what happens is you got to be careful. You got to find out, if you took all the money out, which we do mostly partials, but if you took all the money out, sometimes the plans will say you have to wait for 6 months, and they suspend future deferrals while you're still working there. This is all what you can find out from the custodian or the plan holder of that 401k. If you take out cash, they will withhold government 20%. Sometimes you need a spousal consent to do this if you're married. In Nebraska, you don't, but in some states and some plans, you may. If you have loans, say you have a $100,000 plan and you got a $50,000 loan, and you want to take out all that plan, they will not allow you until that loan is paid back. What happens if you got a $100,000 plan, you got a $50,000 loan, and you want to take out $25,000? That you can do because you've got equity, excuse me, equity in that plan of $25,000. The loans if it's more than the loan, the equity amount, that loan has to be paid down to make that be able to withdraw that. Employment, the 2-year bake rule, all that is that you need 2 continuous years if you've worked for 5 years or under. If you worked 5 years and over, then normally there's no limitation, but they probably want you to work for 5 years and at least 2 consecutive years to be able to take money out of that retirement plan. Most of this money goes into an IRA rollover. So it's a tax-free transfer, and then you have tax-deferred growth just like you would in any traditional IRA. We can also, I don't have it up here, but you could also do it to convert it over to a Roth, a tax-free Roth IRA. But most people, the traditional is still the most familiar. Why does someone want to do this? I'll tell you, I've got a company here that's an irrigation company and a light pole company, and it's called Valmont. It's between Fremont, so it's about 6 miles away. Valmont, between Valley and Fremont, called Valmont. Been in business for about 65, 70 years. They're a manufacturing company, and they just don't have a very good guarantee option. They have a stable income fund, has a stable income, but it's only averaging in the last years about 1.2 or 3% a year. And of course, from insurance guarantees, fixed indexed or fixed, there's much more competitive options. So, a person will have, say, $400,000. They're getting towards, they've been a pretty good saver. They're getting closer to retirement. And so they keep $300,000 there, and we in-service non-hardship withdrawal, a $100,000 over into that guaranteed strategy. But of course, you can move it wherever you want to. And lastly, just another option for the client, another choice for the client or prospect. And the more choices, the more alternative choices that prospect or client has, the better it makes you look, and you're just giving them another choice. Now, what's interesting here is that we're going to ask why do companies offer this? And it's a pretty good question to ask. But let's go through kind of some of the reasons here. So first of all, and I'll go to the next slide. Excuse me about that. First of all, what happens is that the companies want to be competitive. They want to find the the best employees, and employees want to have as much control of their retirement money as they can. So no doubt, as people are getting older and the plan is getting much larger for them, it's a big deal to have that flexibility. They want them to work there, but they want to give them the flexibility that they, after 59 and a half, they can take their money out, which might be good for their future employee or their current employee. Phased retirement, you see in this more and more. They want to remain employed. They want to start reducing their work hours, but instead of just quitting completely so they can get their retirement plan, now if they're in their 60s, if they work there, they don't have to take a loan out of it. It's available to them for what they want. That's pretty cool. And employer liability, it might be one of the biggest thing. They won't say this, but the bigger the plan, the bigger the lawsuit. So if a person's got $10,000 in a plan, they've been there for 6, 7, 5, 4 or 5 years, or a person's got $500,000 in the plan, no doubt that person has a bigger say with the monies, on that larger amount of money. And most of those folks are older in age, and they're over 59 and a half. They're giving them the flexibility. So if a person comes to them and said, my money was locked up, and it went down in value, they can say, look, you're 61 years old. You could have took all of that money out. We have the in-service non-hardship withdrawal privilege. So companies are looking for lesser liability. So what's the advantages of an in-service non-hardship withdrawal? More investment choices, might be different allocation classes, such as guarantees. Yeah, you take a look at fixed annuities right now. You can go out 5 or 7 years and get well over 3%. That's hard to do with anything within a company retirement plan. They have full control of their money because it's an individual IRA. In fact, I don't believe this, but you did hear about a year ago about how the government was going to go on in and start having some say-so with your own money in your 401k, almost look as of control or even ownership. I don't believe it. That's the kind of the scaring that's going on, and we of course would not want to do that with a potential client or a client. But when they hear stuff like that, they're thinking, hey, I'd like to have full control of that money. Professional guidance. Where do they get that? They could pay. They might pay a firm like Fidelity or Vanguard, an outside a rep with that firm registered that can help you with decisions. But most of the time, they're doing it on their own. I just met a guy from a company, and he hasn't changed his allocation for over 20 years. He took the great big hit in 2007, 8, 9. He's been fairly aggressive, 85% in stocks, 15 in bonds. And he said, I really would like to, now that he's getting close to retirement, he'd like to go in and put a fair amount of that money in some kind of guarantee. He doesn't want to lose it. So he wants that professional advice from me to give to him. Retirement income, yeah. What happens is that maybe that 401k isn't set up for income, but we certainly can set up for income. Just like with fixed index or fixed, you certainly could use systematic withdrawals or an income rider to go in and help with that. So just a lot of beneficiary options. You normally cannot inherit a company retirement plan. You can't turn it into an inherited IRA. You know why? Because they don't want to do the record keeping. They don't want to stay up with it. Cost them money. On individual, there you can go in, you can stretch that out or inherit to that. So if you go in and you have, your spouse is the beneficiary, there's a spousal privilege. Once it goes outside of that, then what happens is that it goes into that they say the children, the contingent beneficiaries, if it goes to them, if it's left in the 401k, what happens is that they cannot inherit that, and just have the RMDs, required minimum distributions, off their age. Pretty cool. So that's a great. What are the disadvantages? There are some disadvantages. Maybe people are just familiar. Maybe they have Vanguard funds or Fidelity funds, just saying hypothetically, and they're comfortable with those. Yeah, so they want to stay there. Yeah. Maybe the fees could be higher going outside, but they might be more too, staying in. So you have to look at both ends of that. 401k investments, maybe, if you're rolling it all over into an individual IRA, maybe you don't want all of your monies there. That could be a disadvantage. And then there's a little transfer fee, and this is never a big thing, especially if it's a lot of money. But from $20 to $50 usually is the transfer cost of moving it out of that company retirement plan into another custodian. So here's kind of the steps to prospecting for in-service non-hardship withdrawal monies. Well, you have to get in front of somebody. If you're not in front of somebody, then there's no way. So there has to be something in I think that your own client base, if they're not retired yet, or one of them is still working, you need to go through your client base and call them and say, hey, you've been pretty happy with what I've done with you so far. I know you got $250,000. Your wife is still working. You're retired, but your wife is still working. Yeah, I wonder if she has if you say, I wonder if she has an in-service non-hardship withdrawal plan with their 401k, their mouth will just drop. They've never heard of it. They've never heard of it. So once you get that statement, then you can call the plan administrator. You can call Mass Mutual or Fidelity or T. Rowe Price or Ameritrade or whoever that plan sponsor is, and you get them on the phone, not the broker, not the advisor. There's not going to be any big pushback here. We're there with the client. Now, you can't do it yourself. You have to have the client on speakerphone or conferenced in, and they'll give you permission, and then you just say, hey, does it have a non-hardship in-service plan withdrawal privilege? Or sometimes it's called the 59.5 rule for distributions. 70% of the retirement plans have them now. Completely different than it was 5 and 10 years ago. If you ask the prospect client if she knows about it, they probably don't. I do a lot of partial distributions. Not full distributions, but partial distributions. They have 500,000, we work with 125,000. They got 500,000, we work with 200,000. Just did one of those about 2 months ago. He actually was a client, and he just became 59.5, and we talked about that, and that's what he wanted to do. You're giving them options that they don't know they have. So you're kind of like the guy in the white hat walking on through and saying, did you know this was available? You know what that's like? That's like seeing only a third of the buffet table, and all of a sudden you pull away the curtain, and there's the wizard with the other 2/3 of the buffet with all different kind of choices. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool for your client. Remember we talked about the length of service? Normally they need to have been there for 5 years, or it's called the Bake Rule, 2 consecutive of those 5 years. But you're trying to make their portfolio better. So normally what I do is I'm not trying to copy. If you're registered, a securities license, I'm not trying to copy of what they have. They got mutual funds, I'm putting in. They got a growth mutual fund, I'm putting in a growth mutual fund. No, I'm trying to do something, and that's where that guarantee really comes into play. Or if you're security license, doing maybe something that they don't have right now. Okay? Any questions? Type them on in. So, Judge Billings Learnhand. Wow, that's a mouthful. He was the United States Second Court of Appeals. This was Helvering versus Helvering, Gregory, and this was a quote. This is very well known within the tax annals. And it says, anyone so may arrange his affairs that his taxes shall be as low as possible. Nobody owes any public duty to pay more than the law demands. That kind of goes hand in hand with in-service withdrawals, because you're taking that money out, you're direct transferring it, and no taxes are due on that. main way you do this is from an IRA, a direct rollover, meaning you're not taking the money. So again, I'm just saying we all, hopefully, if you're working with pre-retireds and just retires like I am, yeah, what you're working with here is rollover IRAs, and direct rollovers. Indirect is when you get the money, and you can do it within 60 days, but you can only do one every 365 days of all your IRAs. Don't mess with that. Go a direct custodian to custodian transfer. It's tax free. You continue the tax deferral. A big benefit, the major benefit, is that there's more investment options with that money, and then you're helping them try to find that best allocation. A lot of people, when they get older, they do start consolidating IRAs and plans together into one. Make it simpler. There are mandatory distributions on traditional IRAs at 70.5. Now, if it's a Roth, there's no RMDs, is there? With the beneficiary and the spouse itself. Yeah, there's not. You have control of your money, and you can stretch or you can inherit out of an IRA, which you normally can't do out of a 401k. I like putting this in because a lot of the folks that are listening today with the FMO, Field Marketing Organization of Insurance Agency Marketing Services, do their share of insurance, okay? So fixed annuities, but you know what's happening right now to the market. Market was down more than 600 yesterday. Well, my grandma and my mom both had pressure cookers, and remember when that little, if you're old enough to remember this, it wasn't very safe, but they had that little air release silver thing on top of your kettle, and it start shooting out air, kind of bobbing up and down. That's how our market is right now. But here's what's interesting is, if you look at from the stock market versus guarantees and why people should start to get concerned if they're not already about their monies, if you have a 10% up market with your money in year 1, 2, and 3, up 10, up 10, up 10, and down 10, you know, you a lot of people say you got to average about 20% in year 5. You got to get 34% to average 10% a year. You know, the last time that we've gotten 34% years, I think there's only been 3 times in history that the market's been up 34%, and that's just a 10% loss. What happens if you have a 50% loss? If you have a 50% loss, you have to have a 100% gain to get back to even. You know what's very interesting? A 10% loss, you only need 11% gain, and a 0% loss, which of course, if held to maturity, that's what fixed indexed and fixed annuities do. You don't have to get any gain to get back to even because you can't get below even. I'm telling you, there probably hasn't been a better time. I've been in the business since 1981. There's several times that have been pretty great to show guaranteed principled or insured principal types of strategies. Right now, people are concerned, no doubt about it. And I say it's not how good the good years are, it's how good the bad years are. And I will promise you, when you're protecting people with that downside principle in a real tough, volatile time period, you'll be a star. You'll be a star. They won't be concerned of not making money, but they'll be very concerned about not losing money. Will Rogers says, it's not the return on my investment that I'm concerned about, it's the return of my investment. So as we kind of type in anything, we'll answer anything. We'll do this pretty quick. I'll answer any questions that come in about in-service. But, you know, I've been around since 1981, the financial service arena, 63 years of age, going to work a bunch more years. I presented actually 481 public seminars since the mid-'80s. That's a way that, I just got in front of, I'm continuing to get in front of, but 20 appointments were set, you know, from, actually I had 2 mailings and I had 3 workshops off those 2 mailings, but I try to make a complicated subject much easier to understand. And I think one of the reasons I can do that because I can relate to the producer. I'm in full production. I get, when I get paid for coaching, it's strictly coaching fees. And so what happens is that IAMS, if you're doing business with insurance agency marketing services, most likely IAMS is going to go in. It's done a little bit on a case-by-case basis, but they're going to go in and they're going to help pay me that coaching fee. So you won't have to pay out of yourself. They know that through coaching. If you call me and say, Dave, I want to get coached up on in-service non-hardship withdrawals. Dave, I want to get coached up on seminar marketing. I want to do a Social Security workshop. I want to do a 401k IRA rollover workshop. I coach you up. I give you the tools, the PowerPoints that you need. And what happens is that our goal is to get you in front of as many qualified prospects as we possibly can. My systems, or our systems with IAMS, are really turnkey. And the coaching is what a lot of other FMOs don't have. They have mentors, kind of watch what they do, and they talk to you from time to time. I'm coaching you. I'm training you. I'm really kind of that board of director. And once you coach with me, as long as you're contracting and doing business through IAMS, you can use me as often as you want to with any of the questions that you have. Okay? So what I'd like to do, Steve, I'd like to go and kind of put the poll up that if a person would like to talk with me, they certainly can, and then we will end with our last couple slides. So if you'd like to go in and talk to me about in-service non-hardship withdrawals and how maybe that prospecting tip can help your business, or you want some seminar marketing information, so direct mail marketing information, you just need sales process help and coaching, yeah, certainly mark yes. We'll this is a 25-minute consultation phone with myself. Lynn will call you back. If you mark yes, we'll get that later in the day, and then starting tomorrow, Lynn, either later today or tomorrow, we'll start making the calls and setting up the appointments. There's a lot of interest in in-service non-hardship withdrawals because I can see that from how many people attended our IAMS Educational Series webinar today. So I'm gonna kind of shoot this over to Steve Murray, co-owner of IAMS, and then you can go ahead and mark yes or no. But if you mark yes, we will certainly be in touch with you within the next couple of days. And Steve, I'll give it to you.
Thank you, Dave. Great job as always. Appreciate your kind of quick hitter approach to that, giving us a great sales idea in a relatively short period of time. A lot of other people appreciate it as well, I see, just based on the comments that people put on under questions. So a lot of great jobs and thank you. So we appreciate that. There were a couple quick questions, but before we get to those, I will mention that there is a poll up. If you'd like to chat with Dave, just go ahead and check yes on that poll. If you don't have anything that you want to go over with him specifically, that's fine too. Just check no, and we will get that information over to Dave, and they'll set up an appointment to give you a call. So it should be good. I do appreciate the value of coaching in almost every one of the sales processes, certainly in the seminar process, whether it's on Social Security or it's on 401ks and other qualified funds. Those have been Dave's two most successful seminars, and based on the producers that we speak to and the returns that they're getting on them. And certainly having a coach at every step of the way, I think that's probably required. I just don't know why you'd go it alone when you can have the coaching services that go with that. And Dave is glad to do that. We haven't offered just straight kind of business and business process coaching as much over the last few years because so much has revolved around seminars and the value of seminars to businesses, and so many guys have seen success in the seminar business. But I do believe, and I just got off the phone with one of our producers, you know him, John, over in Columbus, Ohio, and he was walking through his appointment and how he does his appointment. It just reminded me that there are facets to being successful, and one of them is meeting more people that are interested in hearing about what you do. But the other is being able to convert that interest into a client. And I think all of us can use, I think improvement is available for everyone. Some are very good at that. Some have a very solid process that they use that's very effective. Others maybe wing it a little bit more, but are still very effective at it. But I think whether you've got a process or whether you just kind of react to the client, either can be improved with a little bit of one-on-one coaching over time. And if you can convert 5 or 10 or 20% more of the product of the people that you talk to during the course of the year into clients, think of what that could mean to your business. For most of us, that 20 to 25% is kind of our profit margin. So think if you could increase your profit margin, double your profit margin just by spending a little extra time with a business process coaching meetings with Dave. And it doesn't take a lot of time. I think is that about 10 half-hour calls, Dave, with a little bit of coaching along the way? Is that about what you're looking at for that process?
Yeah.
So it could be very, very valuable to your business. So if that's something that you're interested in, or whether it's, you want to talk about seminars as well, whatever is of interest to you, just hit yes. If you're good to go, if you feel happy with the way that your business is set up going into 2019, you feel like you've got plenty of people to talk to and know just what to say, kind of when you talk to them, then I would check no on that poll, and congratulations. Let us know how else we can help you.
Steve, do you say that tongue in cheek a little bit? No one.
Well,
no one. No one has enough people to talk to. I mean, it's just we qualified prospects are not easy to come by, but once you're in front of one, you want to do the best job you can for that person. So I'm just having fun with you, but we all here in the field, we all would like to have more prospects. I will guarantee you.
Well, you need to sit in my chair. Because I have talked to guys that have said, look, I've got plenty of people to talk to. It's pretty rare, I know, in business, but
they're pulling your leg.
Yeah. Congratulations. But there are, can we improve? Can we be more efficient at every stage? I think all of us know that we can do that. And even the most successful producer, I think, would say, gosh, if I had more time, I got plenty of people, or I know I'm good at my closing, but if I had more time, well, some of that is just being more efficient. And Dave's process is to work through the efficiencies of a good productive agency as well. So there's a lot of good reasons to talk with Dave, and if that fits for you, that's great. Like I said, if you're happy with the way your business is flowing right now and just tuned in today to get a little bit more information, that's okay too. That's what it's here for. Just put no on that, and we can maybe we can help you out on something else in the future. There are a couple of, besides all the appreciation on the people express, there were a couple of questions. I'm trying to weed through them right now. One of them comes from a gentleman, and I think during the course of the event, you were probably talking about where we could put money in a safe spot, and he threw in, why not just throw it into an indexed annuity, which is a great comment. Another comment from Scott, who's a CFP, said, is there any way to do these withdrawals for people under 59 and a half?
Yeah, there's not. 59 and a half is the earliest that you're going to have in-service non-hardship withdrawals. And sometimes they even go later. They start at 62 or even 65.
Yep.
But 59 and a half is by far the most common. No, you cannot do it before 59 and a half.
Yep. Now, in the case of hardship withdrawals, that pre-59 and a half could be. Yep.
That's right. You're right. Completely different. And the second thing is, if there's a triggering event, they leave employed,
yep,
they die, they get fired. Yeah, then completely different, because now they're not employed there. They can do it at any time. But we're talking about working there, continue to work there, take some money or all their money out. There has to be the age of 59 and a half or older.
Yep. And Glenn asked, can 403B plans also take advantage of the in-house withdrawal strategy?
Yes, nonprofit 403Bs, and then also 457 government deferred comp plans. Now, not all will have the in-service non-hardship withdrawal privilege. I found the easiest way, it's not asking the client, it's not trying to get through the human resource director, it's just getting that 401k sheet, taking the 800 number and the 888 toll-free number, and calling the Fidelities of the world, or the Ameritrades of the world, or the Vanguards, or Mass Mutual, or American Funds, or T. Rowe Price. I mean, I've called them all, a lot of them. And then you're not talking to the rep, you're talking to a service person, and you have to get the okay. I mean, the client's there and saying it's okay that Dave Pemper talks for me. And then I go in there, always ask what the value is. I ask if they got a 59 and a half in-service non-hardship rule. I ask, is there any after-tax money? I go, is there any Roth money? I want to find out, is there any limitation on matching that I can't take out, which there normally is not, because it's more record keeping for the custodian. Yeah, so then after that, it's pretty simple. I just tell them, hey, you do have the option, or then I will say, are you open because we were talking about that guarantee that is just, you're getting concerned and there isn't a very good guarantee in your plan. Would you be open for me to give you an idea on a portion of that money? They say yes. I say, what kind of percentage? They might say, we got 400,000. I mean, I could see where we'd like to have half of it guaranteed. Boom, I'm in business. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to get it for sure, but I tell you what, most representatives don't even know that the in-service plan exists, or they're not asking the question every single time.
Right.
And it isn't just new prospects, Steve, but it's also all of the clients you have in your book of business that are over the age of 59 and a half that you've never prospected their retirement plan. So it can be a dynamic prospecting tool.
Yep.
if for yourself when you really understand the ins and outs. And that's, if you take coaching from me, I'm going to really give you a lot of great articles, great information. I'll give you it's just basically a kind of a A through Z, step by step of what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and hopefully let that money's directly transfer over into your IRA that you can work with it.
You bet. And those articles will be really helpful. And I had a talk with one of our guys, Jack, pretty successful in his business and has plenty of clients that he works with on both life and annuities. But he did, and this goes back before I even met him, probably 4 or 5 years ago. But he mentioned to me that he went back to his clients and basically said, hey, if you have a 401k, it would be good if we have a conversation. And it was just a quick note that he sent out to his clients. Actually, he had his secretary do it. And he said he got, 6 or 8 calls pretty much right away. And then he went back and prospected through that same list. And he got all kinds of business that he's worked with quite a bit since then. Now he does assets under management. And so, it's a little different conversation than guys that just do insurance, but it's still a great conversation to have no matter what. There's business out there. And when people think that, hey, we got some market changes going on here and I'm locked into where I am at right now and I just have to ride it out. Bottom line is they don't. They can do something different.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, very good point. Yeah.
One more question. I guess this is probably one that I can answer. It's from Mark, and Mark asks, do you have software that can determine how much retirement income people will receive for life? So we use a software product called the Retirement Analyzer, which incorporates Social Security, and you can get the pension information put in there as well. And it just lays out for folks, and you have to help with, what percentages you want to apply to the balances they have in those accounts that are not their Social Security accounts, and help them a little bit determine maybe the best ways that they might consider taking their Social Security. But yeah, absolutely, that Retirement Analyzer software is built just for that, Mark. So if you have interest in that, or if anybody online has interest in that, we make that available at no expense to our producers. We have a kind of a group plan that we use with the Retirement Analyzer folks. So give Marcus here a call, ask him to put you, send you the link so that you can go in and tap into that software. And they have him walk you through like a 15-minute, 20-minute tutorial on how it works. And then put a couple clients in and see if that's useful for you. If it is, and you're doing business with IAMS, we're going to take care of the cost of that for you so you can go back to all your clients and talk to them about that. We still have that poll up, but there's really no reason to, because there's only one person that hasn't voted, Dave. So we got really good response.
Shame on him or her.
Well, sometimes people can't vote because they're just listening in, which is great. If that's the case for whoever didn't vote on this one, just give me a call here at the office if you want to get put in touch with Dave. I'm glad to do that. That's 800-255-5055. Just ask for me directly. I'd be glad to facilitate that call with Dave and get you guys in touch. So,
Jump to the next 2 slides real quick. So I'm just going to finish this out because it kind of closes everything up. And I really do appreciate everyone being honest today. What we're going to start doing is, and this is really kind of the first one of a series, but we wanted to have some educational prospecting ideas that are kind of quick hitters. They don't take a lot of your time, and it makes you think, hey, is this something I could use in my office with my book of business, with my prospecting techniques that would help me put more production on the books? And then, and of course, you're helping your client or your prospect. So we'll have more of those up to come. We've got a lot of great ideas and a lot of great subjects. But I did just want to say this. I said, there's a lot to think about after a session like this. The majority of the near retirees are not aware about if they have available an in-service non-hardship withdrawal. Most of those people think they have to retire or quit employ before they can get to that money. You can be, you know what? Their company's not telling them. They have this because there's less liability, but they don't want them to take money out. They don't. You can be the one that can tell them, hey, it's available, and it will put you a bit on a pedestal of something that maybe another advisor hasn't done. And then I kind of leave on this. It says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. You know what? Tomorrow never comes, does it? Don't let that happen to you. And then we'll go into this very last slide. I like Benjamin Franklin, and his quote is, "An investment in knowledge pays the best interest." And that's a quote from him, and it's fun because interest being money related. But an educational webinar like this, you don't want it just to be like a hot bath. It feels good until you're done being warmed up, and then you feel exactly the same. If you put it to action, if you take in-service non-hardship withdrawals and you truly start prospecting, you know what? It can make, you don't have to go in and put 3 or 4 pieces of business in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks time. But if you would just go in and you do 6 a year, and those 6 average a couple $100,000 each, you know, all of a sudden you got $1 million more, you know, and whatever your payout is, but that's thousands and tens of thousands of dollars more for just asking a question about their 401k, their 403b, or their 457. So thank you very much for attending today. I hope this helps. I know that I'm going to talk to quite a few people that marked yes on this, and I'm looking forward to that, and we will be in touch in the next day or so.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate your being willing to take some time out of your schedule and follow up with everybody and see if there's a good fit. As you all know, or many of you know, we also do some educational stuff at our Life and Annuity Academies. Dave is there, goes through this. We have some other little quick sales ideas. We talk about seminars. Really is kind of built around the marketing and concentrates a little bit on the sales part. And then we finally talk a little bit about product. But our Life and Annuity Academy is really sought after in the industry. We've got a pretty good reputation over the last 15, 16 years. That's how we met Dave, as a matter of fact. He joined us at one of our Life and Annuity Academies many years ago. So within the industry, it's really gotten a lot of kudos and a lot of attention because it really is built around how does a producer meet more people, and once he meets them, how does he convert them to clients? And then we do obviously end up, and we talk a little bit about product as well to keep you kind of in the know on what's going on product and what's actually going on in the industry. So Life and Annuity Academies are 3-day events. We take care of your expenses. If that's something that you have interest in, simply hit yes on this poll. I'll send you out a sample itinerary so that you can look at the day by day. It's a 3-day event, usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll do them in various areas across the country. We might be somewhere near you where it's pretty easy, but whether it's close to you or not, we're going to take care of your travel expenses. We'll take care of your lodging. We take care of your meals while you're there. So might be something that you want to, if knowledge and understanding and growing your business are important to you, you'll like what the agenda looks like for Life and Annuity Academy. You'll also get a registration form. If you complete that, then we will just give you a call and let you know when there's one that might fit for your schedule. So I see that almost all of you have voted on that one already. I'm going to close that poll out as well. Dave, is there anything that you want to add as we finish up today?
No. Again, I appreciate people's time. Time is money. Taking a producer out of the field for 45 minutes or so, how long this took today, hopefully it was well worth your time. And if we talk, I will almost assure you that you'll go away with more information, more education, more ideas, and maybe a game plan of how to increase that production. I'd love to speak with you.
Perfect. Thank you, Dave. And thank you all again for joining us. We here at IAMS, we know that helping you is kind of our end goal. That's really the key to our success. And so, as I just told one of our producers a minute ago, we work for you. You're our boss. So whatever we can do to help you grow your business, that's what we're going to do. Let us be an asset to you. Give us a call here at the office, 800-255-5055. Ask for myself, Steve Murray, or ask for any one of our sales directors, and we'll be glad to be of assistance to you along the way. Thank you again for joining us. Been very helpful. Thank you, Dave, for taking some time out of your schedule. You know how much we value that, and hope everybody has a great finish to their Tuesday and a great finish to their sales week. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.